Today I'm going to eat and train like the fire god Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat 1 thanks to today's sponsor, WB Games. Mortal Kombat 1 is the latest title in the Mortal Kombat franchise developed by NetherRealm Studios, featuring an entirely new universe created by the fire god Liu Kang. You can start playing Mortal Kombat 1 today with the Premium Edition. It gives you access to Quan Chi, Ermac, and Takeda, along with guest characters Peacemaker, Omni-Man, and even Homelander when they release. Standard Edition Mortal Kombat 1 releases on September 19th on PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PC, and Nintendo Switch. If you want to experience an entirely new universe made by fire god Liu Kang, check it out at the link down below. Thank you to WB Games for sponsoring this video, and now I get to eat and train like Liu Kang to see if I can even get better at the game. Liu Kang has two different things going for him. Not only is he the new fire god, but he is also part Shaolin monk. This means I'll be able to take interesting aspects from both of those things to create an entirely new menu for you guys to reproduce at home, starting with a very spicy breakfast kanji. Every dish that I make will be super spicy today because he is the fire god and I enjoy pain. And for the God of Fire's spicy kanji, I actually prepped a lot of this ahead of time. To make sure I was able to make a very quick breakfast, I made a quick kanji. This kanji was just 1 cup of rice with around 4 cups worth of liquid, and in this case, it was chicken broth. After cooking that down for around 45 minutes, making sure I constantly stirred it with a whisk to break down that rice granule so it got nice and thick, I just cooled it down for when I'm going to be needing it, which is today. I also thinly sliced some chicken because that's going to be the protein for the kanji, and blanched a few mustard greens to give us a little bit of vegetable and fiber for our breakfast. This means right now, this breakfast kanji is only going to take a couple of minutes to finish, which is really nice when you're making breakfast. It's also very filling, which hopefully should fuel us for most of the day. Now to this, to help it out a little bit, I'm going to add just a touch of water. This is going to really be dependent on how far you had cooked the kanji the prior day. I cooked mine pretty far, so that way I can add just a touch of water because I'm going to be adding my chicken to this in just a minute. Now while this is coming up to a simmer, I'm going to take around 6 to 7 ounces worth of chicken breast that I sliced very thinly, sprinkle just a touch of salt in there to make sure it's nice and seasoned, and then mix it up just to make sure it is fully coated with the salt, and then just put it straight into the kanji. Because the chicken is so thin, it's going to cook very quickly just from the residual heat in that kanji. Keep stirring this as you reheat it just so nothing sticks to the bottom of the pot. This is almost like making oatmeal. Alternatively, if you didn't have any protein in here to cook, you could absolutely heat this up in the microwave because I've done that and it's awesome. Now after a couple of minutes, the chicken should be fully cooked, remember, because it's so thin. This is when I'm going to be adding some mustard greens. Optionally, you don't have to add any greens to it, or you can add something like bok choy or spinach if you really wanted to. But the mustard greens looked really good, so I just used that. Don't need too much of this because you want some fiber, but you don't want too much fiber before a workout. Trust me. Give this another quick stir. That mustard green should heat up almost instantly because this stuff is incredibly hot. I'm gonna kill the heat, grab yourself whatever bowl you want, and look at how much food this is. This is substantial. This has to be 18 ounces or around 1.5 pounds of food. So this is where I like to get a little creative with my kanji because you can make this and have this however you want. I'm doing just a nice drizzle of soy sauce right on top, followed by 2 types of spicy chilies. The first one is a spicy chili crisp. This stuff is very hot and it has a ton of Szechuan peppercorn in it, which gives you that really beautiful numbing spice, which is absolutely going to be a theme of today's meals. This is gonna hurt later. I'm also using some chili paste. Last time I had this, I literally ran for the milk. So I'm gonna put a nice dollop of that in the center. And then finally, some green onions, because you absolutely need some green onions. And this is Liu Kang's very spicy kanji. I tried to make it look like one of his fatalities, which is a black hole technique, where it kind of like spirals and the black hole's in the middle and you get sucked in, but this is all I could do. But what's great about this over 1.5 pounds of food is it comes out to 750 calories, 64 grams of protein, 21 grams of fat, and 74 grams of carbohydrates. This is a ton of food for that amount of calories. It is time to tuck in. Let's just get a little bit of the chili paste in there. My mouth just immediately started salivating. Get some of the chili oil too, and a piece of chicken. And this is the bite. Cheers. Oh my God. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that is delicious. Unfortunately, it's hotter than Liu Kang's fists, so this might take me a minute to eat. I'm gonna take this entire thing down, and then I have a very fancy workout planned. By fancy, I mean I'm probably gonna die. Now this entire workout is actually based on Liu Kang's moveset from Mortal Kombat 1. I've devised a quick 30-minute workout that goes over some of the basics of this moveset, building up to the dancing dragon, which we have to complete by the end of the day, which is why I said I might die. But for that first workout, we're gonna go to the basics. Now the first move I'm going with is bare knuckles. This is simple, just a little bare knuckle hit right to your enemy's nose. Then we go into dragon scale, which is a combo off of bare knuckles. Next up is twisted, where you do a twisting punch straight to the gut. Then tail whip, a twisting punch with a high kick. Well, maybe not that high of a kick. Liu Kang kicks a lot higher than me, so just go with it. It's okay, because we can easily do Rising Flame, which is an iconic uppercut. Then I'm moving straight into high kick, which is just a simple front snap kick, followed by Chosen One, which is the snap kick plus one of these double punches. Then Too Easy, which feels pretty easy. This one was really fun. But then the creator just absolutely decimated my old hips. I really wanted to try this one more time because it felt really fun. That was only 3 sets of that. It took about 20 minutes and I'm absolutely gassed. We haven't even attempted the dancing dragon yet. I have to find more stable ground to attempt this because I feel like I actually might die. But the dancing dragon will be the ultimate goal. The next goal is to make lunch. Lunch is Dan Dan noodles. I am incredibly sore from that, and I still have the second workout for the day, so I really hope these Dan Dan noodles help power me up for the rest of it. Now, I did prep this ahead of time to make it really easy to make lunch today because we have so much left to do. The first thing I had done was make my Dan Dan noodle sauce, and that is this right here. I used around 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of sesame paste or tahini, 2 tablespoons of Chinese black vinegar, around a teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of ground Szechuan peppercorns to give you that numbingness that we all know and love, and then just a little bit of chili oil at the end. As I cooked this, it got a little bit thick, so I did throw in just a touch of water as I cooked this. You can adjust the water content as you see fit, but you really want it to be a nice thick sauce. The next thing I made was the pork. Yes, I could have cooked the pork right now, but why not just throw it in the microwave? This is meal prep. The pork was super simple. It's 1 pound of ground pork, around 3 ounces of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of crushed garlic, 1 tablespoon of chopped ginger, and a touch of Zhaoxing wine. I let this marinate for around 30 or 40 minutes while I got everything else ready, and then I cooked it off until it was nice and crumbly, but not overcooked. I then cooled it down and got it ready to use today. The next thing I made was my very own chili style crisp. It's not really chili crisp, but it's kind of a chili oil. Let me explain. I sliced up the white parts of the green onion so this way they hold up to the oil better, added some garlic and ginger along with a few bird's eye chilies. These are really nice spicy red chilies. I mixed this together and heated up around 4 ounces of oil and then poured that very hot oil on top of everything. You want to be careful if you're doing this so nothing splashes on top of you because it will be incredibly hot. This cools down completely and then it's ready to use the next day. I also have some spinach that's going to go in this. Now the last thing is not what should be going in this, but it's the only substitute I could really find that kind of made sense. Let me explain. This is chopped kimchi. Chopped kimchi doesn't normally go in Dan Dan noodles. What does go in Dan Dan noodles is yasai, and I believe I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's Y-A-C-A-I. It's pickled mustard greens. These are very difficult to find, especially in my area, so if you can find them, use them. But if you can't find them, something like a fermented kimchi will work okay. It won't be authentic, but we're gonna do our best. And the last thing are some noodles. Store-bought noodles, baby. This way, we can make lunch very quickly. Check this out. I had water going that whole time. We're gonna take our noodles and drop this in our boiling water. We're gonna cook these noodles for just about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. These don't take too long to cook because they're pretty much ready to go. While that's going, we're gonna take the pork and put it in the microwave. After just about 2 minutes, these noodles are done. These cook so quickly. Give this a nice drain. And then I'm going to take, what is this, two-thirds of a cup of liquid. We're only doing about a half a cup of our pasta water. And then I'm going to put all of my spinach into this to blanch it very, very quickly. Now while that's going, I'm gonna take about an equal amount of my Dan Dan noodle sauce base. I'm gonna place this directly into my bowl. Just give that a quick stir so it sits at the bottom. Probably, that's actually a lot of sauce. Turn this off. So just drain this real quick. I put too much liquid in. I'm gonna take some of this out and then add some more of our base to it. I want it to be a little thicker than it was. Our pork is nice and hot. I'm gonna take our kimchi, put it directly into the pork, and toss this around just a little bit, the kimchi and the pork involved. And then I'm gonna take all of my noodles, place them right into the center. I'm gonna also take my spinach and strew it about, kind of just all over the place. And then finally my pork. This is a significant amount of pork for this portion of noodles, but I wanted this to be higher in protein. This is about 10 ounces of pork. Definitely don't need this much. The Liu Kang is pretty thick, so we need to make sure that we load him up. Then we're gonna top it with our very spicy chili oil. This is where the spice really comes in. The pork itself is kind of spicy, but this is where you're gonna get a lot of that flavor and a lot of that spice. And then finally, this is optional. We had leftover green onions, so we're gonna absolutely put some of those right on top. And there, my friends, is a very quick and easy Dan Dan noodles. Granted, it's not perfect, it's not 100% authentic, but it is our own, and it's probably gonna be delicious. Now this entire giant bowl of food comes out to around 733 calories, 61 grams of protein, 30 grams of fat, and around 60 grams of carbohydrates. This is gonna be my last carbohydrate heavy meal of the day. These Dan Dan noodles look so good. Cheers. There's no water. But it's so good. It's so good. It's creamy, it's rich, especially from the tahini in there or the sesame paste, and it just has so much flavor from the chilies, a little bit of the kimchi. This is phenomenal. I'm gonna take this down and get ready to attempt not only the dancing dragon, but every single move I tried earlier, I'm gonna try to combo together. I hope I make it through that. Now after a belly full of Dan Dan noodles, the second workout of the day is trying to combo everything just like you would in Mortal Kombat. And I really hope the Dan Dan noodles don't come back up. My stomach is on fire. Regardless of my stomach being on fire, I tried to study up the manual that I had created earlier in the day to try to really put together this entire combo. This was a lot harder to do than I thought it was going to be because I had a hard time remembering everything, but I really wanted to put my best foot forward. Literally. That's when I tried the dancing dragon. What was that? That wasn't even close to it. Give me some credit. Liu Kang is a god. My body only moves into a single dancing dragon. This is a one-legged dragon. This really feels like a brand new move that they can add to the Liu Kang moveset, the one-legged dragon. I have so many noodles in my belly.
Final round, fight!
It's time to put everything together, everything that I have learned this entire day. If you look carefully, I am basically Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat 1. There is no difference in ability.
Flawless victory.
I feel like this is my finish me moment, so I'm gonna go have dinner. And that dinner is in this bento box. I decided the last meal of the day was going to be a very, very spicy Mapo Tofu. What's really nice about Mapo Tofu is in this case, we're not serving it with rice, so this way we don't have too many carbohydrates towards the end of the night. This kind of lines up with how a Shaolin monk might eat, because they won't have anything too heavy towards the end of the evening, but they also wouldn't have anything this spicy before bedtime because this might hurt later. This was relatively easy to put together. I took some ground chicken, this was about 1 pound worth, and instead of using the pork, I opted for the chicken, mostly because I had pork for the previous meal. After cooking in my wok for a few minutes, I added a tablespoon of ginger and a tablespoon of garlic and cooked that down for another few minutes. I then added some green Thai chilies, some dried red chilies, Szechuan peppercorn that I had ground up and put straight into here, along with spicy broad bean paste. And after mixing that all up together, I added a bit of water to deglaze it, but also to create that kind of soupy texture. You can also use chicken stock, which is a lot better. I literally ran out, so I used water instead. Then once all of that started simmering, this is when I added in my silken tofu. It's really important to use silken tofu because that's what's made traditionally, but you could also just use firm, medium, really whatever tofu you want. I also added in some of our homemade chili oil that I had made. Then I thickened everything up with a bit of cornstarch slurry. And once it was thickened up, my Mapo Tofu was pretty much ready to go. This does not take a long time to put together, and it is very satisfying to eat. This entire bento of Mapo Tofu comes out to around 600 calories, 60 grams of protein, 35 grams of fat, and around 20 carbohydrates. It's really not a ton, which is kind of nice towards the end of the evening. But the real problem is how spicy this is going to be. Cheers. This is by far the spiciest thing we've had today. Not only spicy, but the numbingness really comes in. It's that ma la flavor. Oh my God, it's so good. Maybe my tolerance is built up a little bit because my wife is over there eating it and she's crying. But there's only one thing left to do, and that is to test my might by becoming Liu Kang and playing my first match of Mortal Kombat 1 online. And thanks to today's sponsor, WB Games, I get to do exactly that. I'm going to test my might, all of my skills, everything I've done today leads up to this moment. So I picked my boy Liu Kang and jumped into a match against Quan Chi. I came out absolutely swinging. I threw every single combo I could. I haven't even hit him yet. No, stop. How do you block? Oh no. Let's go, come back. But we never practiced blocking today. Come on, no! But with my first loss out of the way, there was only one thing left to try. Dance dragon, come on. What's the dancing dragon button? We just gotta get one. We just gotta one. Yes, one.
Finish
Well,
it.
at least the food was good.